So today's question is, can you get neuropathy without having diabetes? And the glaring answer is yes, and we don't mean that negatively, but the fact of the matter is that about 50% of peripheral neuropathy patients in our country have diabetes. The other 50% do not, but for you that belong in the other 50%, frequently there are upwards of 80 different causes that can cause your problem. And while, without being too controversial, perhaps the insurance system, the third-party payer system in our country is forcing doctors to really not test the idiopathic peripheral neuropathy patients for what the cause of their problem is. In our experience, you have to delineate that cause, and we're not the only ones saying that. The world's foremost researcher in peripheral neuropathy says the same thing. And I'm going to kick this over to Dr. Rutherford so he can kind of take you through what patients coming in with quote-unquote idiopathic peripheral neuropathy have been through, what they've been told, and then also your responses to them.
Yeah, it's really kind of stunning. It is a question that kind of semi brings me back to the reality of the fact that most people are told half of peripheral neuropathy is diabetic, and the other half we don't know what it is. Top researcher in the world, he's from the Mayo Clinic, right?
Yeah.
Says that's false. We would say even more than him. He says it can be found out what percentage.
76% of the time.
We would say it can be found out.
50% of the pie.
Yeah.
That has idiopathic peripheral neuropathy.
And I would probably say we can find out 100% of the time or close to it if you do the diagnosis. Look, there's a neurology series that's put out by the medical profession every couple of years, every 4 years or something like that. And it's medical research. It's a beautiful book. Ours is tremendously beaten up. And in that book, it says there's 80 different causes of peripheral neuropathy. There are. How do you know? How would you know that? You would know that by reading that book, for starters. I don't know why people are not reading that, and I can only conjecture. Certainly the insurance industry has look, I'm not a right or left wing nut, okay? This is just the way it is. There are 80 different causes according to the medical profession, and the insurance companies are saying you can look for diabetes, you can look for B12 deficiencies, you can look for thyroid, you can look for
that's about it.
Tarsal tunnel, which is a pseudoneuropathy,
right?
Which is a pinched nerve in your ankle. You can look for stenosis, which is a pseudoneuropathy,
which they're trying to limit, actually. They're trying to limit doctors from doing
So they're
MRIs.
basically telling your doctor that they can look for 3. So why would your doctor spend 200 hours figuring out, studying all these other ones? They just basically say you have idiopathic or cryptogenic. And the causes are tremendous. I mean, there's autoimmune causes, there's food sensitivities causes. You know, there's stress hormone causes, there's gut-related causes, there's pre-diabetic causes. Your question was, are there other questions, are there other causes other than diabetes? Well, frankly, pre-diabetes, if you have burning out there, okay, if you have burning and your doctor's saying, well, you don't have diabetes, so it can't be that, I get news for it. That's called pre-diabetes or metabolic syndrome or syndrome X or insulin resistance. All of those things and more cause peripheral neuropathy. So not only does diabetes, not the only thing that causes peripheral neuropathy, but as Dr. Gates said, it requires, if you are evaluated by someone who's serious about what they're doing, a proper history in understanding the nuances of all of those different causes, and then a comprehensive exam put together frequently will give you the answer probably within 1 or 2 or 3 differential diagnoses. In other words, you'll be able to know within 1 or 2 or 3 diagnoses of which of those 80 things is causing it. And then you can now directly test and say, here's what it is. And now you can go about addressing it.
Exactly.
So that
covered it perfectly.
So that's what I tell people.
We're writing a neuropathy book. We're almost done. And we have a whole chapter just dedicated to history because it is so important to really delineate, as Dr. Rutherford is saying, what the cause of the neuropathy is. We get most excited about idiopathic peripheral neuropathy cases. Yes, diabetic peripheral neuropathy cases are great, but we get really excited because we like identifying the cause of people's problems when no one has really been able to figure it out. And especially for the neuropathy patients, they frequently feel kind of dejected. They feel like they're out of answers. And we recommend that none of you feel this way. You need a tenacious a team of doctors to really figure out what your problem is, and you can work with them on that. And just plead with your doctor. Say, hey, I really want to figure this out. Can we run further testing? And if you can't find a doctor who will do that, then maybe you need to find a different neurologist or chiropractic neurologist to do that. So I think we've pretty much covered this topic. This is Dr. Martin Rutherford, certified functional medicine practitioner, also a chiropractor. I'm Dr. Randall Gates, board certified chiropractic neurologist, also a chiropractor. If you have more questions on this, go to powerhealthtalk.com, search for peripheral neuropathy. We have lots of videos up there today. In fact, today we're going to be discussing idiopathic peripheral neuropathy as it relates to prediabetes and a glucose tolerance test. We recommend you watch that. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you later.